My name is Cory. I am from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I've been with Clever Investor for probably about a month and a half now. I just did my first wholesale deal, and I couldn't be more excited. If it wasn't for Clever, I probably wouldn't have gotten this deal because it gave me the idea to do the one thing that nobody wants to do, and that's call Craigslist. So I'll tell you a little bit about the deal. I'm super excited because it was probably the biggest deal that I've done, even with when I was working for an investor. So basically, I got the idea to call Craigslist because I'm not afraid of the phones. Basically, saw an ad on Craigslist for a property that was extremely overpriced. It needed to be a cash deal for an investor, but it was priced about $300,000 over. So I figured I'd give him a call, got in contact with the realtor that was on the property, set up an appointment, went over. It was a beautiful house. It would have been a phenomenal rehab. However, they weren't budging. They needed the extra $300,000. I don't know why. But basically, I got into conversation and communication with the realtor, and he had another lead that he was working. And basically, he couldn't do anything with it, or so he thought. That he couldn't do anything with it. He could have easily have, listed it, but he chose not to because it wouldn't have gotten the guy the amount of money that he was looking for. So basically, he was telling me about the house, that it was a $300,000 ARV. It needed a full rehab, but it was in one of the hottest areas in Philadelphia, which made me super excited. It was in Point Breeze. I went over, it's crazy because this was a 5-week process. Basically went over, sat down with the brother who wasn't the real decision maker. He was just showing me the property. Called the real decision maker, which was the other brother. So I meet the guy a week later at the property with contract in hand, because I told him that I need my contractor to look at the property, and he didn't sign that day. He's like, listen, I need to have my lawyer look it over, blah, 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 blah. So, fast forward, basically, I meet with him again at his job, and he didn't sign the contract again because we needed to make another a revision in the contract. So fast forward about 3.5 weeks of following up with this guy, finally got the contract signed. And within not even 12 hours, I had some buyers in my pipeline already that I had a relationship with, some VIPs that I worked with, when I was working with as an acquisitionist for an investor. And within 12 hours, I had a offer. Actually, I had 3 offers within $2,000 of my asking price. As soon as title cleared, which was extremely clean, we closed. The whole process from the day that it was signed to the day that it closed was 17 days. But the overall process took me probably about 5 or 6 weeks to actually get this deal closed. I'm very appreciative that I got the information from Clever to actually pick up the phone and hit the Craigslist leads because, otherwise I wouldn't be sitting here, cashing in on a fat deal. So I'm pretty pumped, and I appreciate everything that you're doing. Thanks.